I got this for Christmas. Everyone, my name is Jed. I hope that didn't distract you too much. Welcome to 2021! Yay! I'm gonna put, it's probably sound effects for this part. Now, I'd have to say that I've been distracted lately. Maybe not even lately, but as far back as even March, and that's a long time to be consistently distracted. Now, there was a lot of things that have distracted me, from the lockdowns, to the illness, to not going to the gym, to Christmas music boxes. But after months and months of this, yes, there were external events that were making me feel like I do not want to be productive and turn off all productivity, go to my Switch and play the new Paper Mario or own people in Smash Bros. But after a while, I realized that it wasn't just external events that were causing this, but an internal source that was making me want the desire for distraction. So today I want to talk about the art of distraction and what we can do differently in 2021, because it's a new year, new me! Yay! Am I right? Am I right? Okay, no. I say that every year. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna transition over. Okay, no transition, but yes, we transitioned over to 2021. It's time for a brand new year, a time to reset your brain, and even if you don't believe in resets, I personally believe in resetting your mind at least monthly, weekly, daily, even within the day. But it's going to be a very interesting year, and I hope to give some insight on what has happened as a whole with the ability to be distracted. Looking into this, I realized that distraction can become an addiction, and this has been happening for years. We look for ways to put off any important tasks, and I fell into that trap in 2020. If there is anything that we are good at as a society, it is getting distracted. But the way I see it, everyone will get distracted. It's inevitable. So when I talk about the art of distraction, I'm talking about the literal definition, which means to draw or direct your attention to a different object or different direction at the same time. Now, this leads to something called multitasking. You watch Netflix in the background, you work on 2 assignments at once, and I'm not saying that it's always a bad thing, but looking into the psychology of it, it's stated that multitasking actually reduces the effectiveness of productivity. You see, our attention is limited, and I believe especially for guys, on a personal level, I really easily get distracted by music, food, Legends of Runeterra, and Golf Battle. These are phone games. I know, I've fallen from grace. I am very against phone games, but man, Among Us was so good. Moral of the story, don't play phone games. Or eat, I guess. Anyways, our brain literally cannot process everything at all times. This is called preferential processing. A good definition of this is a collection of mechanisms in our brain that compile to form attention. Digging a little deeper into it, our attention allows us to process visual information, but only selectively. If you've ever seen the experiment of the person asking for directions, they'll swap out this person. They'll be wearing the same clothes. The person being asked for directions will not notice that they're talking to a completely different person. Or another example is the selective attention test of the kids throwing around this basketball. But the reason why we fall into distraction is because over time we've ingrained in our minds to be consistently unfocused on one thing. It's become so difficult that I guarantee that many of you have already clicked off this video or are going to click off. And I'm going to do this challenge real quick. We're going to take a 10-second pause. Ready? This is a test of attention span. Go. I think that's 10 seconds, I'm not sure. Now, if you didn't look at your phone or you didn't scroll through the comments or even clicked away, I probably don't have comments anyway. I applaud you! Yay! And for your prize, you get to watch the rest of my video. Isn't that exciting? Woo! But if you did click away or you checked your phone for Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok for you Z-Geners and Millennials, then there is a problem with your attention span and you are addicted to the rush that these attention grabbers give you. Over time, we have groomed ourselves to always crave to be distracted by something. Even YouTubers who have something consistently happening with jump cuts and explosions are trying to pump you up by distraction with a hit of dopamine. Guilty! And I know there has been a lot of noise lately because of 2020. 2020! 2020! 2020! Yo! But there are ways to get out of the mastery of the art of distraction and be completely focused externally and internally. Now, as a Christian, I do believe that there is a way to get out of this, and that is by knowing that in everything that you do, you're doing for God. God wants us to be the best at whatever He has given. And even if you're not a Christian, just think of it as you're doing this for more than just yourself, whether you're doing it for family or whether you're doing it for others. Keep in mind that in anything that you're improving on or anything that you do, it will feel better when you realize that you're not doing this just for yourself, that it can be used to help others, and that you are focused on this matter because God wants you to do the best of this. Besides that, there is also the fact that we love to take the path of least resistance. It's easy to fall into the rhythm of sloth, and I admit that this was me. I broke my productive streak, and I became a literal sloth. But whenever I played Smash Bros. Or played phone games for hours straight, after each time, I always felt like I wasted a lot of time. I felt terrible. And to get myself out of this, the only way I did this was to remind myself of the mental state I was in each time after doing this for hours straight, and saying to myself, okay, Jed, you can't do this anymore. I finally uninstalled Golf Battle and Runeterra and put Smash Bros. Aside and replaced them with tasks that are more productive, such as writing or reading or going to the gym. Although these could be seen as distractions, I see it as a way to focus on other long-term tasks that are not only better for my mental state, but another way to progress skills in different ways. Now, I still love video games, but I realize that video games are not progressing skills in any way. Another way to look at this is to know that each day is a day to better yourself, whether spiritually, mentally, physically, and if you're spending a day in distraction, then that is a day wasted. You put a set goal in front of you, and when you set these goals, make sure to set schedules or maybe even deadlines. For example, when I started this YouTube channel, I said to myself and promised that I would release a video at least once every 2 weeks. And over time, I fell into distraction, and then it became 3 to 4 weeks, and then more than a month, until I realized that I had no schedule. The schedule or the deadline was non-existent. So to change that, I had to remind myself of why I started this channel in the first place, the goal and the reason why. And the why was so important because it made me realize that ultimately I started this channel to help others with their walk with God, or to reveal the truth in God, or ways to live life that are better than how they're living right now. That you don't have to be falling victim to distraction or falling victim to too much dopamine and things like that. Have a goal and keep consistent, because once you break the streak, it takes about a week or two to get back into the momentum. Stopping any productive habit that you do automatically kills momentum, and I know this because I'm speaking from experience. Just remember that there's only 24 hours in a day, and on average we spend about 8 hours a day sleeping, an hour eating, 2 hours on social media sites, and so on and so forth. And now that's not to mention personal care, if you have a 9-to-5 job, if you watch Netflix. So all in all, we have to realize that there's literally no time for distraction within our day. Now, there are techniques that you can use that I've tried or do now so that you won't get distracted when focused on something. I've talked about changing your environment to the point where you have no option but to do the task at hand. But there are other techniques such as the Pomodoro method. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically a time management skill where you focus on something for 25 minutes and then for 5 minutes take a break. It's a work hard, play hard method that uses the reward system for the task at hand. Just make sure you have a timer, because I've fallen victim to going way past 5 minutes because I didn't have an alarm. Other techniques include meditation, which I'm sure you've heard of. The reason why it works is because in today's society, it's very hard to slow down and sit still and not get distracted by anything, because in silence we tend to go to our smartphones or laptops and it fills the silence. But when you're always surrounded by noise, you don't realize that the noise has gotten so loud. For me personally, I like to go to prayer. It's another form of meditation, and it's not only a way to communicate with God, but it's also a way to sit down and listen to what God has to say to us. Oftentimes we end up talking to God, telling Him all our problems and struggles, and we end up talking too much, but we don't realize that we can sit down and listen to God and hear what He has to say. It's another form of meditation, but to meditate on God. Another tip that I can give to get back on track is fasting. So oftentimes I will fast from anything that gives even a slight hit of dopamine, whether it be media, so I fast from YouTube, Reddit, etc. I won't even open my laptop, and I even fast from food, because even food gives dopamine. It's not only beneficial mentally but also spiritually. Think of it as resetting your body and mind so that when you get back to the task at hand, it's much easier to not fall victim to distraction. So all in all, if you got through this video, congratulations! Your attention span is great for listening to me for this long, but if you scroll through the comments, or the lack of, or you started multitasking or even clicked away, I understand. I suck! But that might mean you are mastered by the art of distraction. So you have to look at different aspects in your life to see if you're consistently distracted. Thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, hit subscribe. It would help a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Let's go ahead and conquer 2021. Thank you for all your support in 2020. I'll go ahead and link that basketball test below and the prank video. Love you guys all. I hope you're all doing well during these times. God bless. Peace.